Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers are back at Lambeau Field. Tonight, they open the 1997 preseason against the Miami Dolphins.
Green Bay Packer preseason football, brought to you by HIS, jeans that fit your life. Just get up and go. Citgo says go. Your local Jeep and Eagle dealers. Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for a good old macro brew. Pizza Hut, making it great again and again. See your Packerland Ford dealers, where there's more to afford. Perkins, Wisconsin Perkins Family Restaurants proudly sponsor the pack. Menards, save big money at Menards. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers. Havish, Davis and Rotier, another team with a winning tradition. Your Wisconsin BMW retailers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Tradewinds Premium and Bacon Rise Pizza. Championship taste made in Titletown, USA. The new Dodge and your friendly Dodge dealers. It's about change.
Number 41,
So it's the Dolphins against the Packers in the 48th annual Midwest Shrine Game. Hello again, everyone. Bill Jartz and Brian Noble back with you once again. And Brian, they say the only thing more difficult than winning a championship is defending it. And tonight the Green Bay Packers are going to find out just how much truth there is to that statement.
Bill, 5 years ago, Coach Mike Holmgren and Ron Wolf had a game plan. They culminated that in January with a Super Bowl victory. Yesterday, they solidified the future of this organization by signing two-time league MVP quarterback Brett Favre to a new 7-year contract that will carry him through the year 2003.
Across the way, the Miami Dolphins come in with their coach Jimmy Johnson. We'll have it all for you next. It's the Packers and the Dolphins here on the Packer Preseason Network.
Bernardo Harris, a rough outside linebacker from Ball State, number 9.
With its legendary capabilities and tough quadricoil suspension, Jeep Grand Cherokee can take you to all kinds of places far from home. Or not so far from home. Now lease a Legend Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $319 a month. Check one out at your Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Wisconsin grows potatoes. Did you know that a russet potato comes right out of the Wisconsin ground? There's no need to go all the way to Idaho when that homegrown taste can be found. Right here in our state, isn't that great? Now that everybody knows Wisconsin grows potatoes.
Let's get one thing straight. The Pack is back! World champions! Not Chicago, not New York, not San Francisco, and definitely not New England. So to help the league remember who's on top, Citgo has this World Champion Packers hat for just $5.99 with any 8-gallon fill-up. But get them fast, because since the Pack is back, everybody wants to be a Packer backer.
Packers World Championship hats, only at participating Citgo retailers.
Reggie White, at the end of last season, you made Wisconsin #1, and Packerland fans everywhere thanked you. Well, the factory-authorized closeout signals the end of our season, and we'd like to thank everyone who made us #1, with great savings on a great selection of Ford F-150s. Get up to $1,500 in savings on America's #1 selling pickup.
Now that's super.
Hurry in before they're gone. The #1 football team is in Wisconsin, and the #1 sellers are at your Ford dealer.
See your Packerland Ford dealer.
Hello, Pizza Hut. How much is one of your new pizzas?
$8.99.
I want pepperoni. With pepperoni.
$8.99.
Sausage. Pepperoni and sausage.
$8.99.
Peppers. Pepperoni sausage. And peppers.
$8.99.
Mushrooms. Peppers.
$8.99.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms, that's $8.99.
Now you can get one of our totally new medium pizzas for just $8.99. Topped any way you want.
How much for a second?
Just $5.
Any medium, $8.99. Second one, $5 more.
Holland, George Kuntz to the secondary, and he got a Craig Newsome, a Leroy Butler, and then a Eugene Robinson. He's a pretty happy man.
Shannon Clavel now in at left end for the Packers. Erickson goes 2nd and 10. Straight through the middle, and again it's incomplete. On the coverage over there, Roderick Mullen, intended for O.J. McDuffie. And Mullen's another name that came up in the conversation yesterday with Fritz Schirmer.
They've got a lot of guys that are competing for jobs. And Roderick Mullen is a guy that they know can play safety or cornerback, and he's doing a great job of making plays. You know, we talked about that statement that people have to make and really getting noticed. When a coach talks specifically about you, you're doing something right.
Mullen, a third-year man from Grambling, came over as a free agent, began his career with the Giants. 5th-round pick, and Jimmy Johnson, I don't know how he does it, Brian. I've got to be honest with you. As sticky as it is today, how does that hair stay in place? I'm telling you. My wife kept telling me it's going to be a bad hair day. She was right. 3rd and 10 from the 35. Erickson floats one out at the first down stripe. He gets it in front of Tyrone Williams, and that's Brian Manning hauling it in.
Oh, they're going to give it to him. It kind of looked like he might have been out of bounds on that one. But it's the first preseason game.
Well, let's check it out here, Brian. We should have a pretty good angle here from our end zone shot.
It's just your classic out, 15-yard out, boom, on the sideline. 1, 2, he's in bounds. Good call.
Tell you what, early on, but they're looking pretty good, Brian. They're looking pretty good.
I still never agree with the referee. Unless, of course, it was in our favor, but that one was...
And we're going to get our folks coming in here with the chains. Tyrone Williams in the coverage over there. Came in with great shapes, and Mike Holmgren said he just loves this guy. He's paid his dues to society. No question about it this offseason.
Yeah, he had some problems, and Mike said this kid has really turned things around for himself, both from a football standpoint and a personal standpoint. And Mike said that, you mentioned his feelings for the kid, that he's very proud of the way he responded to all the adversity that he had gone through. And the one thing Mike said, when you talk about adversity, adversity builds character, and this guy's on the right track.
Jimmy Johnson across the way, you saw him there. Came in last year. Amazingly, the Dolphins are still paying $6 million in salary cap money this year for players no longer on the roster, and that's what's hurting him and the Dolphins.
One of those big money free agent guys that didn't pan out for him, really, as you mentioned, cost them some opportunities.
They'll go on 4th down. Parmalee straight into the pile, and Bernardo Harris says no.
They got some meat in the middle, and they're playing well. They're playing extremely well. Santana Dotson gets inside, gets underneath. When you get down like this, it's all leverage. Watch Santana get underneath, comes through, boom.
Good penetration by him, Brian.
Santana Dotson.
And the Packer defense holds. It's Steve Bolo and company with a fresh set of downs when we come back.
If you experience car trouble tonight, look for...
Welcome back to Lambeau Field here, and Dennis Rodman's wannabes, or what in the world are they, Brian? They're just great Packer fans.
Well, when you're Super Bowl champions, people will do just about anything. And look right there in that picture alone, there's nothing but green and gold. The people of Wisconsin and all over the country have got to be pretty proud to be Green Bay Packers.
They've done so many things, both to this stadium and also to the area around the Hall of Fame. It's a great experience. Also a good experience right now for Steve Bolo and this Packer offense as Jerby gets the caller on the left side. And his most important thing right now, Brian, keep his hands on the football.
Talking to Travis this year, he had some fumble problems last year, and that's going to cost you with Coach Mike Holmgren. It's the one thing he cannot stand is fumbles. So Travis, although he was working out, he started carrying the football with him everywhere.
Time now for the new Dodge trivia question. Prior to last year, which NFL team scored the most points and allowed the fewest points in a single season? Again, that's our new Dodge trivia question. Prior to last year, which team had scored the most points and allowed the fewest points in the season? The answer coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, 2nd and 9 from the 27. And again, it's Jerby. Pretty good hole this time as he charges up toward the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. Set up about a 3rd and 3 as Mike Crawford there to bring him down. And Jerby, as you mentioned, he literally slept with a football, although he said he never woke up with it.
Travis has got excellent acceleration. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. He was out at the NFL's fastest man 2 years ago. His most important thing, concentration, holding on to that football, and he's got some terrific competition right now with Chris Darkins as to who's going to be the number 3 guy.
Finished 4th in that fastest man competition. Slowed a little bit during training camp, but finally managed to get out on the practice field, and now's his time. one of the great battles shaping up. Number 3 tailback. Bono, good protection. Again, it's Shimura, the tight end, who's going to take over for Keith Jackson and hopefully get back to the Pro Bowl as he goes for the first down.
That man right there is truly going to, he will go back to the Pro Bowl, mark my words. He was the strongest guy on the Green Bay Packers. Bench press 315 pounds, 17 times. He's a rock. He's got that little Superman tattoo. The guy's a rock. He will be Brett's go-to guy, much like 2 years ago when Mark was healthy the whole year. So that's the most important thing for Mark, is to stay healthy through the whole year. And he will put up those types of numbers that got him to the Pro Bowl 2 years ago.
That's right. He missed 3 games last year with a sprained arch. One of those freak injuries. No one really touched him. He just blew it up. 18 to go. 1st and 10 from the 37. Bono feeling a little more comfortable trying to set up the screen out there, but this time it just did not work. Intended for Gerald Soule, one of their draft choices this year. Pretty good hands on the guy, but needs to learn to block. The other guy that we're going to see later on in the backup fullback spot is Emery Smith. And the answer, here it is. The question one more time.
Did you know that? Do you know this?
I did know this. I did know this. Prior to last year, of course, it was those 72 Miami Dolphins, a juggernaut, the only undefeated team in the National Football League to go the whole season without losing a ball game.
Who are their running backs? Tell me that.
Zonka kick. And we've got 2nd and 10 right now, Brian. 37 yard line.
Oh, yes, look at Germany. Now here comes the speed.
Finally collared inside the 15-yard line. Some confusion early on. But then Jervy just hit the Jets using that great speed, and he's inside the 15. Clock stops, 8:01 to go. It's 58 yards. Let's look at it again.
Watch the lead block from Soule. Boom, right there. Pancake linebacker number 56. Excellent running by Travis Jervy. Spin out of the traffic, get out. I'm surprised the kid got caught right here. He gets ran down from behind. I'm sure they're gonna dog him about that.
Sam Madison, the rookie from Louisville, brought him down, but watch his great balance right there, Brian, more than anything. Taylor finishes things off.
Michael's running down, getting blocks. You got to be proud of that.
1st and 10 from the 14, 7:35 to go. The Packers threatening to get their first touchdown of the year. Bono looking into the end zone for Mays, and he can't hang on. No go there. 34 in the coverage for Miami was Tim Jacobs, a 50-year man from Delaware. But this man, Derek Mays, has a great set of hands.
He can catch the football. What Coach Holmgren would like to see him do now is refine his skills a little bit. A 49-yard run by Travis Jervy. He's getting a little break. He had an abdominal pull. That's why he missed some of the training camp. But he's getting back. He's getting in there. And as long as this kid can hang on to the football, it's important for he and Chris Darkins to perform on special teams.
Soule and Darkins in the backfield right now, dotting the I. Here's Bono, gives it to Darkins, and Darkins runs into the back of Adam Timmerman, and not a whole lot going there as the clock continues to roll. Well, what thing's worth a shot, I guess, eh, Brian?
There's a 40-yard sprint for nothing. You better hustle back because they're going to line up again.
And on a night like tonight, you better save it at least early on. Last year from Akron, 10 sacks for him. He lettered in football and basketball, and Darkins has opened some eyes this training camp.
Darkins is, they've had high expectations for this kid. He had, what, 3 or 4 200-yard games at Minnesota. So they know the guy's a workhorse. They know he can carry the football. But he was busted an ankle last year, so they're hoping he can perform at a higher level this year.
Darkins and Soule split it up. Here's Bono rolling right now. He's going to set up the screen on the left side to Darkins. Catch the ball first, then turn on the juice. Inside the 5 to the 4. Close to the first down marker. Let's see where they put it down.
Good blocking out front by the offensive lineman. I think that was Aaron Taylor and Frank Winters pulling out.
It's good for the first down.
And it is a first down for Darkins.
They had some questions of whether this kid could catch the football. He gets out. Nice setup here. You see out in front Aaron Taylor. Good hands there showing he can concentrate, get the ball. Good blocks by Aaron Taylor. Frank Winters, he gets upfield. Good play.
Big thing with Darkins a year ago, he just wants to get through this one. He dislocated his shoulder in the 96 preseason opener against the Patriots and sat out the rest of the year. He's the 2nd leading rusher in Gopher history. And right now, Bono, maybe having some flashbacks, going to take some timeouts. He's going to come over here and say, Coach, how'd we do that again back in 91? We'll get things squared away. We'll take a little break here. It's the Packers 3-0, but threatening. 5:52 to go, 2nd quarter of play. Mike Holmgren reportedly turned down 15 book offers in the offseason. He lost out on about $1 million worth of endorsements and TV radio deals. He simply told his guys, listen, I'm not going to do my radio or TV shows. I'm going to stay focused, and I hope you do the same. Right now, it's 1st and goal from the 3. Darkin's the only setback there. Bono rolls right, fires into the end zone. Hendrick Loskin just off his fingertips, incomplete. Set up a 2nd and goal from the 3.
One of the Packers' favorite plays is to get those tight ends out in the flat like that. There's where the tight ends are battling for that number 3 spot along with Pinckney. Trying to get that Luskin Pinckney. Who's going to be the number 3 guy? Jeff Thomason is out today. These guys are going to have to perform.
Lusk acquired in a trade with the Jets, spent last year with the Saints, caught 27 passes a year ago, led the Saints receivers during the preseason. Brother Harold is a rookie safety with the Colts, a little bit bigger than what he appears to be. Looks like a running back. He's 240 pounds. Soule and Darkins in the backfield. Darkins gets the call, heads for the goal line, comes up just a bit short. Down to, it looks like the 1-yard line. Defense rather, a year ago finished 17th overall, 7th against the rush, but their passing defense is the one thing that needed some work, and that's why they brought in all those former Packers.
Up front, Bill, you talk about size. Daryl Gardner, 6'6", 315. Daniel Stubbs is no slouch. Tim Bowens is one of the best in the business. They're big guys up front. They got to slow the run down. They slowed the middle down with a bunch of size, much like the Packers did with Gilbert Brown.
3rd and goal from the 1, about 5 minutes to go. It's Soule and Darkins. There's Lusk in motion, and it's Darkins again, and Darkins crosses the plane, touchdown Green Bay. Here it comes, the Lambeau Leap.
That's a hit.
You got to forgive him though, Brian. He was out all last year.
He's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. That was a rookie jump into the Lambeau Leap. Oh boy. Coach Holmgren's not. Look, kid, watch the net.
Here it is, straight in Steve Bono's eyes. Let's see what Soule does.
Right there.
Soule, pretty good movement there on number 75 for Miami. That was Shane Burton. Conway tacks it on, and the Packers go up 10-0. So Bono gets things accomplished, so does Conway, and the Packers jump out to a 10-0 lead in this, the 48th annual Midwest Shrine Game.
By Gatorade. The Packers extend a special thank you.
One more look at that touchdown by Chris Darkins.
Offensive line does a good job of moving people out of the way. Newly acquired Marcus Spears right there, driving number 75 right out of there. Chris Darkins does what a running back's supposed to do, that close to the end zone. Put your head down and move the pile.
If you happen to be on Highway 43 or 41 today, you've got a pretty good idea there was a Packer game. Things were backed up. Very empty seat in the houses. Conway comes up short on this kickoff attempt. It's going to be taken at the 15-yard line. Up to the 40-yard line goes number 20, Robert Wilson, and a penalty marker goes down. Wilson spent some time with the Packers a couple of years ago.
I was looking at Robert Wilson's statistics, and I played with Robert for a few years. Back in 1991, he had a pretty good season. I think he had 49 carries for a couple hundred yards. But since then, he's had 5 carries for -1 yard. So that tells you that when he's in there, he's not going to get the football.
Battering ram, is that what they call those guys?
Another mistake here by Miami.
Holding, number 56, on the return team, on the run back. That's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Mike Crawford, the guilty party there. Crawford's kind of a wild man, too. He's one of those guys that went eye to eye with a bear up in Alaska. Jimmy Johnson wants to get some wisdom out to his troops as we step aside 10-0 Green Bay. Well, let's take a look at the play here. Number 56 getting called on the hold. You'll see it coming up on the tape. Mike Crawford, kind of obvious, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he's kind of a
different sort of a guy with that hair over there. Got water skis on ice behind cars 50 miles an hour. He's a wild man. Erickson just dumps it off wisely, complete to Parmalee. Parmalee shoots up for the first down. As Green Bay has made full-scale substitutions, Seth Joyner now in for Green Bay, making seeing his first action. And Brian, so many of us talking about how in the world can the Packers afford Seth Joyner as we look at the last scoring drive. 11 plays, 74 yards, 5:14 on the clock. Darkins a 1-yard run.
Well, they need some depth in there with Kuntz not going to be ready until maybe the 6th or 7th game of the season. But the hard thing for Seth Joyner, I played outside linebacker in '86, is to move inside. That's not an easy transition to make from outside to inside.
1st and 10 from the 43, 4:10 to go, and it's Parmalee again shooting up near the 50-yard line. Let's call it the 48 there. Darren Sharper there to help bring him down. What is it? Is it just the traffic? So much more traffic in the guts?
When you're outside, Bill, everything comes from one direction. But when you move inside, they're coming at you from everywhere. And you've got different reads. You've got to read like a triangle. You've got to read from the guards back to the quarterback, back to the backfield. And a 13-year veteran like Seth, though, he should be able to make that transition once he gets comfortable.
5-yard pickup on the last play, 2nd and 5 from the 48. Dolphins trail by 10. Erickson rolls right, complete the right side. That's Wilson again. He may not be running very well, but he's pretty good receiver as he goes to the 40-yard line before Roderick Mullen brings him down.
Now here you've got some guys out there that are really trying to make something happen. Keith McKenzie bites in big on the play fake, leaves the outside flat wide open. He didn't pick up his key. The fullback Robert Wilson coming out.
Darren Sharper over there as well. Back to Seth Joyner for just a moment. Signed a 4-year deal worth reported $6 million. Been in the league now going on 12 years. 3 times in the Pro Bowl. And it's 1st and 10 from the 40. Just under 3 minutes to go. Miami trying to get some points on the board. And again, it's Wilson. Here to pop up here.
Welcome, Seth Joyner. You know, you talked about Seth Joyner and his ability to impact this football team. And talking to Fritz Schirmer, he says, hey, if I got to restructure my defense to get the best 11 guys on the field, I'll do that. And right there, he said, Seth Joyner's a playmaker. The guy knows how to play the game of football. And if I have to change something to get this man on the field, I can do that.
Boy, that's what you got to like about Fritz Schirmer. He'll do whatever it takes to make it work due to injuries, due to additions in personnel or whatever. So it's no gain, and it's 2nd and 5 here. And again, it's Parmalee getting the call. Pretty good workhorse for Miami so far tonight.
Seth Joyner made the tackle.
Joyner again on the stop. The interesting thing he said, too, is basically it was boiling down between the Cowboys, as one of the Dolphins is down on the field right now, injured. He said it boiled down to the Cowboys and the Packers, and he said the Cowboys basically said, listen, it's an honor to play for us. He says, at my stage of the game, it's not a privilege to play for anyone. We'll step aside and bring you back after this.
Green Bay Packers credit card from MBNA. Stop by the concourse and apply before leaving the game. Everyone.
Welcome back.
Well, what in the world is that, Brian? Season's a 5 months away.
Put it down, big fella. Put it down.
It's a nice buck, though.
It's not bad. Look at that with a football in his mouth, a cheese on his head. He's got everything. That's a Wisconsin deer right there.
He ran by me last year. I missed him.
Oh, boy, you're seeing all kinds of things. The injured player was Keith Sims, the veteran guard, an 8th-year man. Former 2nd-round pick. We'll get an update on him as soon as we can. Right now, the 2-minute warnings hit us. It's 3rd and 1 from the 31. And Parmalee got the call. Let's see if we can check out what happened to Keith Sims. He's been in the news there because he had been the starter on the left side, and he was demoted, was not starting tonight. There he is right there pulling.
He comes around on the trap up inside, and he's going to pull up on Seth right there. Seth just gets out of his way, and I don't know what happens. You don't see any impact or any blow to the lower section of his leg, so I don't know.
4th down and 2 from the 32. Minute 25 and the clock rolls. Erickson deep through the middle, and Sharper had his hands on it and couldn't hang on.
He's a young kid, but he's got to make those plays. They're very high on him. He's a great big guy, very athletic, very fluid in his motions. They're talking about playing him at both safety and corner. Here he makes a great break on the ball, gets a good extension, and just doesn't come up with it.
His brother, of course, drafted the linebacker by the Ravens this year. Brother Jamie. A year ago, 10 interceptions for Darren Sharper from William and Mary. And they like this kid. He's been doing the punt returning so far for Green Bay tonight. There's Bob Valicenti. What a positive influence he is for so many of those players.
He's a great coach. Bob has the ability to relate to these players extremely well and get them to play at a very high level.
Minute 15 to go. Eugene Chung now in at center. This is Jervy trying to get the corner. Good lead block up front there by Sol. And here's Jervy, who rattled off a 59 or 58-yard earlier. And he's exciting some folks. There's an 18 more that we can stack up to his deck as we go under a minute to go in the first half.
Good run blocking here. Again, Sewell getting out on the corner, picking him up. Good block on the corner. Nice chop down block right there. And then some good running by Travis Jervy. You got to see running backs break that first tackle, and the first guy that hits Travis, and he's showing good speed to get around this corner right here. Dip and run.
Gerald Sol, not a real good blocker, but he's working on it.
Well, that's the important thing, that they want to see progress in these youngsters.
I want to say hello to all the folks along our preseason state network line, WISN TV12 in Milwaukee. We want to welcome all the folks down there in Milwaukee. WISC TV3 back with us once again. WSAW TV7 in Wausau. And of course, WBAY, the flagship station for the 21st straight year for Packer preseason football. Jervy, look at those numbers, 18.5-yard average. I think if we had to make the cut today, he'd make it, Brian.
Well, you know, you talk about MVP for the 48th annual Bishop's Charities game, and Travis is looking pretty strong.
MVP of the big ball game. Someone who knows a little bit about that. Here's Bono on 1st and 10 from the 49, and he'll air it out, looking for Ismail, and he overshoots his target. Kind of an interesting thing, you see that number 81, and boy, did 81 light things up a year ago, but that was a different 81.
Well, the contributing factor there, you know, again, Mike Holmgren, Ron Wolf did an excellent job of acquiring the talent necessary to win that Super Bowl. Here again, you see a veteran player that they hope they can insert and plug into a specific situation to help this football team get better. You're counting on Quadre to do some things, returning the kicks, filling in the void. There's a spotlight on that kickoff return because of the loss of Desmond Howard.
2nd and 10 now from the 49, 52 seconds to go. The Packers with a 10-0 lead. Bono looking for more. Complete to Mays. Mays will not miss many. Now let's see if he can slip some tackles, and he does. Down to the 33-yard line goes the second-year man from Notre Dame. And Green Bay will call a quick timeout after a 16-yard pickup from Mr. Mays.
Well, again, Steve Bono very familiar with this offense, and this is what they want to see out of Derek Mays. They want to see crisp routes, catch the football, and it's big. Derek is very similar to what Sterling Sharp was when Sterling was here. He's a big guy, 16-yard reception on that play right there. He's got excellent hands. They know he can catch the ball, but it's what he does after the catch. Get the ball, head it upfield, and break some tackles. And like I said, the comparisons to Sterling Sharp are very familiar. You see, he's very thick in the lower section of his body.
You know, Brian, you watch him at practice, and he takes it personally when he drops a pass, and I say that, and I'm sure they all do, but he really takes it personally. He tries and strives so hard to catch every single ball he can touch. Slowed by a dislocated shoulder a year ago, and that really bothered him, but this year he's ready to go. The Packers now with 4 wideouts. 1st and 10 from the 33, 44 ticks to go. Sol the lone setback for Steve Bono. Bono with a flare out, complete. Ismail, first down. They stop the clock. 39 seconds to go. Nothing tricky there, Brian.
Well, it was funny. Last week I was talking to Quadre, and I asked him about his hands. There was a question about his hands before he lit into me pretty good. Here he shows excellent concentration, going up, all hands, catches the ball, both feet down. This is what they hope this guy can do. Not only contribute on special teams, but he thinks, and I believe, that he will be a contributing factor in this offense.
39 seconds to go, 1st and 10 from the 20. Again, 4 wideouts for Bono. Trying to shovel it off to Sol, and that's incomplete, so it stops the clock with 34 seconds to go. And he also got quite hot when you said he was brought in simply as a kick returner.
Yeah, he honestly believes that he has, you know, last year I looked at Quadre and talked to him a little bit, averaged over 18 yards a catch last year, so the guy can get downfield and catch the football. And when you try to label him as a special teams guy, yeah, he got a little tight with me. He said, look, I'm here to play football, and I'm here to contribute in whatever fashion is possible. If that means special teams, so be it, but I'm going to do everything I can to contribute to this offense.
Holmgren 6-1 so far. Preseason games here at Lambeau Field. Trying to make it 7-1 right now, leading 10-0. Bono on 2nd and 10. For Beebe, and it's off his fingertips at about the 9-yard line. And there's a guy well up in his years, trying to make history this year, Brian, to become the first player to play or to qualify for 6 Super Bowls.
Now we know where 4 of them were spent. Don Beebe's just a great guy. You know, listening to Don, one of the remarkable things, he made a statement this week that he said probably the guy he respects the most is the guy that he gave him the opportunity to play, and that was Robert Brooks. When Brooks went down, Beebe got an opportunity to play. And he said the way Robert has responded to that adversity, he really respects him immensely.
In 4 wide outs, 3rd and 10. Floating it up, wide open, Bill Schroeder, touchdown Green Bay. And his leap's a whole lot better, Brian.
This is a guy, Bill Schroeder, they anticipate he's probably having the best camp of anybody in the Green Bay Packer organization right now. He's really concentrated, fresh out of the World League where he was 2nd in the league in receptions and yards. Coming in here, they knew what kind of a talent he was because he was here last year, but they just needed some opportunities to play. And the World League gave that to him. Steve Bono put that right on the money for him, but it's not hard when the guy is so wide open.
Hendrick will hold, Conway will kick it. And it's good. So Green Bay, with just 24 ticks left on the clock, jumps out to a 17-0 lead over the Dolphins. And that man, Steve Bono, and Conway, for that matter, as well, have to be feeling pretty good about their start so far in 1997. One thing you'll notice as you listen to our broadcast tonight, and if you have the opportunity, and truly an honor to stop by Lambeau Field this year and watch a game, the Packer band that used to be right down below the press box here has been moved outside. They call them the tailgaters, and they're going to entertain the folks outside the stand so they can pump up the volume, as they say, inside. One more look at the touchdown. Bono to Schroeder.
Good job of offensive line protection, giving him plenty of time, and Schroeder just does the shake and bake, and as you can see, he's pretty much by himself, and then up into the Lambeau leap.
Schroeder was all-world.
All-world, I like that.
Didn't that sound good?
He's all-world.
John Jefferson was the last guy I heard called all-world, but that's what he is. From Sheboygan down the road here, 43 catches for 702 yards and 6 TDs with a Ryan Fire, and Conway has it teed up. Kind of a squib kick here that'll go down to the 11-yard line, and it's Clayton Holmes to bring it back. Holmes was set out the last year and a half or so because of a drug suspension. Returns as the Packers go on the board one more time. The drive was 7 plays to 68 yards under the guidance of Steve Bono. It took just 51 seconds, and the Packers go up 17-0. Bill Schroeder from Sheboygan South High School. A lot of fans stopping by, and he just needed the experience more than anything else. He's only played 1 year of college football and needed the experience, and that's what the World League provided.
Gave him that opportunity to, as you mentioned, Bill, get that experience. And Mike Holmgren and Ron Wolf said, hey, look, this is something that you need to concentrate on and get done. Come back here and we'll see what happens. And he is having one of the best camps of anybody in camp.
Ben Freisting getting after it. Armley gets the call, and he goes straight up the middle with some running room. Now bounces it outside, and Brad Edwards is going to finally drag him down inside the Green Bay 40-yard line. Edwards with a Super Bowl ring to his credit as well. 11 seconds to go as they stop the clock. It's 28 yards on the pickup by Parmalee.
They're trapping a lot inside, getting around that far corner. Parmalee does a good job of setting his blockers up. Shannon Clavel just doesn't close down a little bit, and Parmalee does a good job of running. And here you see the guys in hot pursuit.
First down.
Roderick Mullen, you see number 43 flash through the screen there. That's Randy Kinder, who's making a switch from offense to defense. 11 seconds to go. Let's see what Erickson chooses to do. Comes up short here, looking for his intended target out there. He was down on his knees at about the 28-yard line, and Jimmy Johnson saying, what happened to my offense?
Second and 10. Ball remains on the Packer 38.
He didn't show a very strong arm on that. That was a 15-yard out. Came up about 15 yards short.
Lamar Thomas, the intended receiver there. Miami a year ago, 14th in total offense, 11th passing. Rich McGeorge, by the way, their offensive line coach, from the first-round pick of the Packers. And there is the same pattern, same guy. This time, he's out of bounds. So 2 plays in a row that don't click. And that leaves just 2 ticks on the clock here at Lambeau Field before we'll get a little break. And we will see John Kidd. Who is going to hold. And we are going to get Joe Nedney. I saw Kidd out. Well, maybe they're going to try punting this thing. No. Kidd's going to hold, and Joe Nedney, who had some time in the Packer camp, is going to be trying a field goal. 56 yards for Joe Nedney. A left-footed kicker with 2 seconds to go. Trying to break the goose egg. No good. Comes up short. Nendy, long of foot, 18 of 29 last year with a 44-yard field goal. But they'll head to the locker rooms now, and Steve Bono has to be happy with his debut as a Green Bay Packer. We played 30 minutes here from Lambeau Field in the 48th annual Midwest Shrine. The Pack on top, 17-0 over Miami.